Um, I'm Adrian Sales, and she's your name.
Carla Roberts.
Oh yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Moss Point, Mississippi, in the United States.
Okay, so my topic is gender equality, and I will ask. Well, teacher, you will know my perspective about gender equality because of the essay, and now we'll know Carla perspective about gender equality. So I will ask five questions. The first question is, Carla, what is your perspective on gender equality and how did you acquire this perspective?
So, I would say my perspective on gender equality is that obviously everyone wants men and women to be equal, but not necessarily that they are. And I think, in my opinion, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I very much believe that men should be head of the household. And I think that men should be the leaders and women should kind of take a step back or and I kind of acquired this because living in the South, it's more traditional, I guess you could say, and that in the sense that family is patriarchal, the man provides, and the woman is really just not necessarily under the man, but just kind of more helps out rather than is the main provider.
Okay, thank you. The second question is, which aspects of your cultural identity can you relate to this issue?
So, like I mentioned, in my I guess cultural identity, I live in the South, so the South is more conservative, and conservative beliefs mainly consist of, kind of like I said before, um, the man kind of being the head of the household or the leader, or having a male president, or even in my case, in my religion, I'm a Southern Baptist, so all of our preachers are men and not women. All of our deacons are men and everything like that. So I think growing up in the South and being raised in the South and staying in the South
Mhm.
has really led me to believe that in terms of gender equality.
Okay. The third question is, what is the impact of gender equality in your personal life?
The impact of it, I would have to say. So, me personally, in the future, I want to be a nurse, and I think a lot of people would say women are nurses, men are doctors, more like that. And I think that also relates back to the men are higher up or the men are the leaders, which is, I think, how it's supposed to be, in my opinion. You know, you think women are more caring, the nurses are more caring, and the doctors are more kind of cut and dry, like you have to do this specific thing.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just think that in that sense, that kind of really relates at all.
Okay. The fourth question is, what are the beliefs about the issue in your peer group, family, or community?
Okay, so my family thinks the same way as me in terms of gender equality. My peers, though, I would say are definitely more. I guess the girls that I'm around more, I would say, are more into
Liberal?
feminism. They're very much women
Yeah.
are equal to men. Women are equal to, if not better than men. And I just don't believe that. But in my community, I would go back. I think I would, kind of relate it back to being from the South and saying that I would like to think the majority of the people think the same as me,
Mhm.
but I'm not quite sure. I think a lot of people, at least nowadays, think that women are definitely equal or should be equal, but still aren't in a way, especially with the pay gap and things like that.
Yes. Okay, and the last question is, how you think these groups acquire this perspective or beliefs?
So family and community, being from the South, still our minds are we're very conservative people, so we think that, a lot of people say the 1950s way of thinking. So women belong in the kitchen or in the household. Men should be out with the jobs, providing for the family. But my peers, I'm not quite sure. I think we live we live in an age where obviously technology, everything is very accessible.
Mm-hmm.
So new ideas are very prevalent and accessible to everybody, really.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think my peers kind of listen more to the technology, and they get more ideas from others rather than kind of confining to our culture here, which is, being conservative and things like that. So I really say that it's a bit odd that I know so many people who think differently than me, but I also know a lot of people who think the same as me.
Maybe I think also religion, like the people that thinks like you, maybe like you told me the traditions of the South and also religion, as you told me. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
me personally, like I live in a big city, so most of the people are liberal, so they think gender equality is like women are equal to men, and yes, and I also go to church, and people I know from church, they think different than what is normal. So yes, and also, well, maybe uh like like talking about like giving not talking about gender equality and talking about your religion also in the South, like Mississippi. I think church, like most of the people go to church. I don't know. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And here in Mexico, like when I go to church, like is like no one is there. Like when I was a kid, like the church was full, and now is like not even the half of the church. And when I was in Mississippi, when I Saturdays when I no Sundays when I went to the church was full, and the people was wearing like fancy clothes. Like for me, it's fancy. They were dressed up, and here in Mexico, like I can go with a shirt and a hoodie, and like it's normal. Yeah. So well, it's not about gender equality, but I think that's
Mm-hmm.
something I was like yes.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I've never been to Mexico or anything or any other country for that matter, but definitely in the South it's different. Even like they call it the Bible Belt, because there's so many churches, so many people involved in church. Because it's the South, that's just kind of like, I guess, a traditional or
Mm-hmm.
normal way of thinking. People from the North don't necessarily go to church as much or have such strong beliefs
Mm-hmm.
as Southerners do. So, and yeah, and the dressing up part, we like to be fancy for church.
Yes. Well, I think that's everything. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.